Will is restarting.
Oh, gotcha. Excuse me. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. Ugh, I need to take a fucking shower. My pits stank. What? If you haven't already, can you just put the TikTok code in the doc somewhere?
Oh, it's in there.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, TikTok's in there. Your timing is perfect.
Oh, this keyboard is really cool, by the way, Kim.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Oh, my closet door is open. How uncouth. My name is Cameron Cowan. This is The Living Joke. I almost said Cameron Joel Podcast. Living Joke. I'm always afraid I'm going to do that. The Living Joke. I'm going to get the guys here in a minute. Right before we do that, I'll take care of a little bit of housekeeping. Want to remind everyone that Brian from Woke Word Wars is coming next week to talk about his board game that we're going to be taping an unboxing and playing of after we do this. If you've been following us on Rumble, we just streamed a complete chapter of Bloodborne today. So if you don't follow us on Rumble, you should head over to Rumble. That's where Will streams all the time. We have lots of gaming content over there for all sorts of things. When they do Pokemon stuff and things that I don't really involve myself in, that all goes on Rumble as well. So if you're watching us on other places and you want to know where some of that content is, because it will not be on the Cameron Journal YouTube, it will be on Rumble. We are doing gaming content on Connor's YouTube channel, which is linked to our Substack, thelivingjoke.substack.com, where you should follow us and feel free to upgrade your membership to $8 a month because we are starting to roll out some members-only stuff here very shortly. We're brainstorming some ideas of what we'd like to do in terms of exclusive content, things like that, but that is in the works, so now is a great time to join as you start to roll that stuff out. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, TLJ_joke, which is a wonderful place. And now that we have 50 followers on TikTok, we're going to start doing TikTok lives, which means the guys will be gaming on TikTok, which is really cool. So, speaking of the guys, let me get them in here. I need this one. And there we are. And Connor's not selected in the guest that he should be. There he is. All right. So, hi guys. How we doing?
Hello.
Hey, I'm feeling good.
Good. So yeah, the
How are
whole
you?
gang's together today.
Yes, we've reunited.
All chilling under one roof today.
I know. It's no, it's a lot of fun. We just got done playing the round of Bloodborne, the board game, so that was really cool. And yeah, so we've had a lot of fun, and we had tacos for dinner last night, and a little bacon and
Taco
eggs this
Tuesday.
morning. So, we did.
Unintentional Taco Tuesday.
Yes. yeah, so we've been having a lot of fun. It's going to continue this evening. So let's get right into the icebreaker, which is you, Will. I'm gonna get it set up here. I have the wrong browser
Oh,
open.
Yep. I meant to send you a song here. Let me send this real quick. So yeah, I'm talking about a little significant political event that has happened. You guys might know that, he's been accused of a lot of things, but Cameron, just look up North Korean national anthem. I'm having an issue.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so yeah, he's been accused of a lot of things, but his popularity is undeniable. In a landslide victory, Kim Jong Un has been re-elected. Yay, great leader.
I mean, yes,
Uh-oh.
that's how that works. Uh-oh, what? Uh-oh, what? Oh, we've lost. Oh, I've lost everyone. Well, this is unfortunate. We are still live and it is still counting. Oh no. Actually, I think we might have lost internet entirely. Yeah, we might have. Oh no, I'm still connected. I think they've lost internet and I'm missing them. But that's okay. Because um that gives me a chance to update some things here. So that we've got ready to go. And nope, we don't want to play that just this second. And we want to keep this here. And while I'm waiting for them to come back, we're going to do this one. So we are having a little bit of technical difficulty right now. Will is working on it. The guys will be back in a second. For the moment, you're stuck with me.
It's on my end. Is there something that I need to do aside from just trying to rejoin the call?
No. We're still live. It's still going. I've just lost you guys.
Oh. I'm trying. It says waiting for the host right now.
Well, hang on. Let me do this. There's Will.
Whoa. Hi. Sorry. I don't know what.
No, it's okay. We're still 90 miles short of Connor.
There has been a giant fucking disruption.
There you go. Now I hear you. So, no, it was fine. I got everything arranged for your icebreaker, and I'm going to accept Connor, and I'll get everybody back.
Okay.
Here. Remove from green room. Here we go.
Yeah. I think our internet provider, because we weren't using the internet that much for a moment, and then we all plugged back in, and I think our fucking internet provider had a stroke.
Yeah, sadly, while I lost both of you guys, I maintained the whole time.
God
We're
damn
still
it!
live. I know.
Oh, you know why?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, yeah.
I know why, because I gave Cam the fucking big boy Ethernet cord.
Gotcha.
I gave him the one that goes like 80 gigabytes or something, or whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
insane. Or 8, whatever the fuck. It's a lot. Anyway, more than the other ones. The other ones are 60s. I just can't remember the measurement. Anyway, where did
Yes.
when I cut out, where did I leave off?
You had just announced that Kim Jong Un had been reelected, and I was
That was that was the
pulling up the
North
story.
Koreans. That was the
Yeah.
North Koreans smiting my connection because I was talking about Kim Jong.
Yes.
But yes,
Yes.
Kim Jong Un has won in a landslide victory again. Isn't that incredible?
Yes, it says here, according to Reuters, that the North Korea's ruling Workers' Party re-elected Kim Jong-un as general secretary at a party congress meeting on Sunday. State media said, a move seen as underlining his absolute grip on power and greater confidence over domestic stability. So,
Wow, truly a benevolent leader.
Something.
Nope, friend of the show,
So-
Kim Jong Un. We would love to come and meet you.
Yeah, unfortunately, tourism is banned right now, so it's very hard to get into North Korea. You got to go as like part of an event or something, which some people still do. And
It doesn't mean me and Cameron have been discussing our trip to North Korea. We've been figuring out logistics on how we're gonna get there.
Yes.
What did you say? We have to go to China and then hop a flight?
Yeah.
Chinese
So
passport.
We have two problems. One is our passports is not good, so we have to get a second passport, which is easy to do. We can get one to like Portugal or St. Kitts and Nevis. That's easy. Then we have to fly to Beijing, and then we get on the official state airline, Koryu Air, and then fly to Pyongyang. So.
Oh, yeah. And then we just make our way down the DMZ line, take a little train over to South Korea, and boom, we're in K-pop land, dude.
Yep. So
Connor will fly in for that. I don't know if Connor wants to go to North Korea, but if Connor will fly in for South Korea. We haven't discussed this with him yet.
Yeah, we can.
But anyway, yes, congratulations.
We'll just get him on Air Korea straight to Seoul, and
straight to Seoul.
Yeah. So, do you want me to play the North Korean national anthem? Is that what we're leaving?
Oh, sure. Play like a snippet.
Okay.
Play a little bit and give a little salute to great leader. Okay, that's enough. Yes, thank you, great leader, and congratulations, great leader, again, for like the 14th time in a row. I'm not sure how many times he's been elected, but a lot.
What a plot twist! No.
What a twist!
Yeah, he's like our age.
Yeah, more towards my end, but yes.
Well, yeah, it's our age.
Yeah,
we're
still
only a few years apart.
Oh, he's younger than I thought.
Yeah, because he been in
very
since
young when he got in.
16, 18, something like that.
Yeah, he was very.
Yeah, he was
really
very young.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that's all. I thought that would be funny to bring up because yes, a obvious landslide victory. I don't think anybody else was running.
And it also it's important to remember this was the internal party congress for the ruling Workers' Party. There are no public elections in North Korea. That's not a thing. So it's
nobody else was in the running. They would have all met unfortunate fate.
Yes. I have a pandemic of gray in my beard. It started with 1 or 2, and it's now totally out of control. And I tried trimming it today a little bit, and it's still out of.
It's neat.
Anyway.
But I can see the
gray. It
gray.
does look better. Yeah, no, the gray is popular. It's getting so bad. No, it's out of control.
I think it makes you look distinguished. I can't wait till I have white hair, to be honest.
I'm really hoping that I can keep I can get the distinguished vibe going, but it needs to be spread out a little bit more before we really get to distinguished.
I mean, granted, I'm not saying I want to be old, but if suddenly my hair turned white, I would not be disappointed.
I mean, I think if you're gonna do it, that's the best color.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandma always wanted that pure white Irish sort of look, and it never happened. It never materialized. So so it's yeah. So anyway, the other half of the story didn't post in the way I thought it was going to. Anyway, we're gonna move into segment 1, which is big time gaming news and trends. And we're gonna start with a couple things that gets into the Xbox being sunsetted, and also the end of AAA the gaming, for a couple different reasons. And so I'm gonna get everybody working and on board, and then we'll get into it. So let me switch back to
Okay.
here. And actually, I need to copy this because I'm not going to type it twice. We're going to go over here and we're going to paste. There we go. We're going to get rid of that one first, though. There. Now we're cooking. So here's how this begins. This has multiple levels to it. So we're going to start with Jacob Novak. There's an underappreciated point in Bob Matthews' recent deck that anyone looking to understand the next 10 years of gaming needs to process. Kids don't care about AAA games and probably never will. This connects directly to the new Xbox CEO and to the recent decisions at PlayStation, among others. If you look at ball slides on Roblox, you'll be blinded by the sheer growth of the platform, but if you have a kid like me, you wouldn't be surprised by it. My son is 8. When I was 8, I subscribed to Nintendo Power. I had Mario and Zelda bed sheets. I bought the cereal. I was obsessed with these games. I had played Final Fantasy, Dragon Warrior, and Bubble Bobble. Any bit of news about the
Hell
NES or
yeah.
upcoming SNES and Genesis systems I devoured. My son at home has a PS5, a Switch, an Xbox, a gaming PC because I have them. He never turns them on. He and his friends only play Roblox games. Kids today have more access to games than I ever could have imagined for way cheaper than what cartridges cost me. Super high quality ones too. He could play any Mario game in history. My kid could not care less. He only thinks of Mario as a character from a movie studio whose opening logo has minions on it, and he thinks the minions are funny. And then it goes into, oh, well, as they get older, will they stop doing this? And this is the part that I think was very interesting. And that he says here, there's a very strong connection between YouTube and Roblox. When you're growing up on Mr. Beast and YouTubers and unboxing videos and dumb brain rot AI slop video feeds, Roblox is an interactive social version of that. We have long assumed that kids graduate into better games. Fortnite, sure, Mario and Zelda, of course, God of War, maybe Final Fantasy. I do not believe growing up into AAA games will happen at the required scale. I think the entire discourse around AAA games for these kids is going to be like old men talking about records. They don't need them. And he goes on, that's not important. But that whole discourse, which I thought was very interesting, ties back to possibly Xbox getting sunset and the point of and the whole point of AAA gaming maybe going away for the younger generation, and that explains what Xbox and Sony are doing. They're preparing for a world where big AAA game titles have been popular at this point for a couple decades or more goes the way of the dodo bird, because Roblox and social stuff like that are going to be what the new kids play, and AAA titles will be marketed to older gamers. The numbers will eventually decrease, and the studios won't find them as profitable and will get rid of them. So I thought I would set up this whole story, this whole trend, this whole thing for you guys to get your thoughts on this aspect of gaming, this future, this whole situation, based upon all the information I just dumped on everyone.
My thoughts are to slam the shit out of Roblox. If I had a child, I wouldn't. I don't care. I'd throw out their fucking computer before I'd let them play that game. To the developers, to the people. Why? I mean, it could all be conspiracy bullshit or whatever, but you know, we're in the fucking gun-ho time of that right now. You know, I don't know if I was the developer of a game company and I found out that grown adults were using it to try to be fucking predators, and then somebody on the game is actively trying to like catch these people, and you go on broadcast and say, we don't want vigilantes in our game. Well, I'm glad that you're happy to have child predators in your game. Good for you.
This is not a Living Joke story. This is a Cameron Jones story, but there's litigation about that. actually, right now.
Oh.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron's Roll News Hour Mondays at 7. Yeah, there is litigation about Roblox is in a bit of trouble for that right now, actually.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that a lot of these things fall upon the parents, though.
That's true.
It's if you're letting your kid onto these things, people click through the terms and conditions and they don't read them, but they also have
Yeah.
parental controls for a reason too. And you can restrict your child's playtime. You can restrict microphone access. You could turn off the chat if you wanted to, or turn off chats from non-friends or something. There's all kinds of ways to take care of your child's online safety, and it's a lot of things like people are just like, well, what do you mean? Oh, I couldn't have foreseen this coming. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't make it. I'm not excusing like these predators' behavior, because obviously those people are fucking sick and should be fucking punished and stopped. They shouldn't be playing the game. It's not good. But like, there's a lot of onus that's placed on the parents that a lot of people just, I don't know, they either take that for granted, they don't think it applies to them or something. But there's privacy controls for a reason. I'm just saying, be a better parent sometimes, because a lot of these things are like, here, take a tablet, and then I'm not going to interact with you for 6 hours. That type of parenting. But I'll say, as far as I do like Roblox. I've played Roblox. Tyler was like, "Hey, do you want to play Roblox with me and Lily?" And I was like, "Roblox, dude, for real?" And no, don't respond to this Pajit. She's a fucking bot. This fucking Pajit, get the fuck out of here, Bella _Smith _073. Get the fuck out.
I was
You're like
hoping
the
that they would follow
90th
the.
person who's tried this shit.
I was hoping that they would follow the account long enough to boost the algorithm for 5 minutes before we eventually block them. That was just my thought.
You're get away, Pajit. Go away. It's not even something like they're barely even listening. They just are there to type shit in the chat and then disappear.
I'm sure they're not. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just aside from that, though, I had a lot of fun playing Roblox. I also don't talk to anybody, so getting talked to by a predator wouldn't be a problem for me.
I don't know, man. I think you are prime to get.
I'm the prime
away.
target.
Yeah.
Say, oh, there's hot Vietnamese women at my house. I'll be there. I'll get right in the van. No. And for AAA gaming, I don't know why children would want to play AAA games nowadays, because they're just all like lackluster for the most part. Everybody's going to come out and say, oh, Red Dead and whatever. Yeah, it's a great game. I'm not saying these are bad games per se, but it's like a lot of them come out unfinished. A lot of them are like buggy. Like Ubisoft is notorious for this. There's a brand new Assassin's Creed, and it's like unplayable the first like week until they put in like, sometimes they've even put in a day one patch because it's been so shit. The new like Call of Duty's has lost quality consistently ever since its first iteration. It definitely peaked probably at like Modern Warfare, I would say, and then has gone the Modern Warfare series, and then has gone downhill. The original ones, not the remakes. There's just been a decline. It's like AAA. It like doesn't mean anything. It's more like just it's shiny shit now. It's like a polished dog turd most of the times. Everything's an over the shoulder, like third person, cinematic action or cinematic drama experience nowadays, like 1348 Ex Voto or fucking Kingdom Come Deliverance I don't know. It's like a movie game. It's like barely even a game. It's a movie that you. It's a walking simulator.
Well, but here,
Interactive cinematics.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
yeah, I think to your point, which kind of gets us into the Death Stranding discourse, and we got kind of roasted on TikTok for that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But that I think, I mean, I think that walking simulator sort of thing, I mean, that it gets into that sort of Roblox play style of it's just this interactive world that you're playing, and it's not really, a game as such. And it appears that perhaps that is the future, and the AAA properties that we have had in the past will slowly but surely all eventually go the way of the dodo bird.
What was the last AAA game you bought, and how disappointed were you?
Um,
I need a minute, but I can probably tell you.
yeah,
Uh,
I would.
I'll
See.
I'll
I'm
go
gonna
first because
slide
I'm probably the
over.
most recent one. Um,
Probably.
the last big AAA title that I bought that's of note new was the last Modern Warfare 3 when that came out. Um, and then I got the next Black Ops that came out against my better judgment. Um, Black Ops, what is it, 5, 4, 5, whatever the newest one is. Um, and yeah, it's just the same issues persist with every Call of Duty. I'm not gonna insult your intelligence with basic gamer gripes that everybody has. Um, but it's just not as like fun to play anymore. I don't know what it is. Like stuff either feels like cheap, or it doesn't do anything at all. A lot of stuff feels pay to win now. Like it's slowly gone the way of pay to win. I feel like because they offer all these crazy skins and guns with special stats and whatnot, and it's like at a certain point, skill only gets you so far in that game. And I feel like if you're playing at the peak meta or something, this isn't for the general public, obviously, but if you're playing peak or even, no, fuck it, even at the general population, how are you supposed to beat somebody that has like a gun he paid $49.99 for in COD points that like just melts people because it has no recoil and like the fastest fire rate in the game or something? I'm making that example up.
I have a really good example of an actual gun that was in MW2.
Oh, okay.
There were two guns you could get that they ended up patching eventually, but the guns were the cosmetic was like transparent, and then on the inside of the weapons is like fish bones.
Oh yeah.
The big issue with this is that you could now ADS, aim down sights, for non-gamers, and normally when you do this, you'd have whatever on your gun, whether it's an iron sight or a scope or something, like it's in front of you. It's taking up some of your vision. Now when you ADS, the iron sight or whatever you have on is transparent, and so you can still see in the full field of view that you can always see in.
Yeah, that thing was broken. I remember when they patched that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as last AAA game I bought, I've never really, I think, bought any of them. I think the closest I have is Civ 6, and I was unhappy with it. I played very little of it. It was
Mhm.
because Civ 4 was the peak of that franchise, and 5 and 6 were just just getting worse, sort of thing. Um, and so yeah, I mean, to your point with the quality going down and all this sort of thing, um it kind of makes sense why the kids would be kind of like, yeah, we're just gonna screw around in the worlds that we make on Roblox. I mean, and I think the big testament to this is the popularity of Minecraft. It is a game that's, I mean, Minecraft is what now, 25 years old. It's
Yeah.
ancient, and yet it maintains its popularity because people can, create their own stuff, their own spaces, their own world servers, all this type of thing. And so, yeah, I think the static, sort of, you play through this, you go on this path, all this type of thing, just doesn't have any appeal when it's now more of a creative space than it is playing in someone else's creativity.
I will say also AAA gaming is definitely a thing that's of our generation, of the millennial generation, because we were the first and biggest influx of over-the-shoulder third-person camera games. So the people that make these franchises are older versions of us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the old guard of video game design that I'm glad is dying, because literally like every game at a certain point it felt like was over the shoulder third person, and it was like, yeah, let's just flood the zone with these. Everybody likes this. It's like, can you please do something else? I think GTA 4 was like the biggest where that turned. Anyway, Connor, sorry.
No, that's okay. Probably Tears of the Kingdom. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild fits in the same boat.
Yeah, I could see that.
They didn't need to, like... I've told the guys this. I'll compliment this one fact. The areas that are actually related to the series, if you've played throughout the years, like the Goron village, or what is it, the Zoros? What are the water people, Bo?
Zoras.
Yeah, the Zora's domain, shit like that. Areas that actually like are lore specific to The Legend of Zelda are pretty good and fun. The rest of the game, which is a lot because it's an open world game, sucks. Fucking pointless.
It's just a big fields of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I'm glad I adventured for 2 hours into this mountain to find a rock that I could have found next to the inn that I was in when I started.
Oh, and the Karak turd mission.
Oh yeah, so I mean, that's goofy as hell, but there's this whole
that
mission.
was so insulting. Yeah. Oh yeah,
gather.
You have to gather 100 of them. You have to gather 100 piles of Karak shit, and then you bring it to the final guy at like the final Karak guy, the specified summoning place, and then he gives you like a golden shit as a present. And it doesn't do anything. It's just like a treasure.
Big pile of golden shit.
It's just like, yeah, it's literally worthless. I would be so mad if I did all that just to find out it was another shit.
That is extra depressing with a side of depressing. What's it? That was a fun and productive and interesting discussion. However, we have much more fun next up because we're going to be getting into WoW stuff with Connor.
Ooh.
WoW stuff with me. What's new in the World of Warcraft? Nothing. It sucks. I uninstalled it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's trash.
No, we're moving into, what's today's date? The 25th. Tomorrow, if you have pre-ordered Midnight, will be the beginning of early access. Everyone out there can get into that. A couple raids will be dropping. Not everything will have access to the new area, which I'm excited for because it is in Kaltalis / beginning in Silvermoon, which was like the hub all the way back in the Burning Crusade, which was the first expansion that was ever made for WoW. So they're revamping Kaltalis and Silvermoon. Up now we have the main thing I want to talk about, which is player housing. I was showing the guys some of the player. What do you guys think of it from what I've shown you? Neither of these guys play WoW, but still.
It's so creative. It branches right off the discussion we were having about player creativity taking a center, and it's already so creative. Someone built, Star Wars ships and Gundam and all this sort of thing. So It's cool. You had put player housing, so I was just prepping this, and I was going to click around while you talked. So feel free to
Yeah, I
continue.
mean, this is like the base. I think this is like the base thing. I'm sure game devs made this house, but just a little example of like the how creative you can get. Everything you see in the house can be moved, reshaped. You can clip things in and out of other objects. So I've seen people already make some like really cool designs. People are building like coffee machines and shit out of a bunch of random fucking objects that look really legit or unique. Seeing some of the floating houses is great. Or like how creative people are being with the exteriors.
Yeah.
I think this is
Fuck.
really fun, and it adds a lot to the game.
Yeah,
I
for
would be
sure.
more inclined to actually get back on and play to get stuff to do, like something like this.
Oh, and then the big thing around player housing is so. For those who don't know, I mean, World of Warcraft probably is still one of, if not the biggest, still one of the most popular and populated games, MMORPGs, I mean, out there. And so every year, they do some different tournaments. They have Mythic Plus tournaments. For those that don't know, when you can do raids in this game, big multiplayer content, like 10 up to 40 players, depending on the raid you're doing. And for the most part, they're end game content, right? And you start with Mythic, and then you can climb through the Mythic ranks for what are called keys. They essentially just keep going up in difficulty, like the enemies scale higher, bosses have more health, blah blah blah. So they do Mythic Plus competitions where it's like kind of a race. Each group is trying to clear a certain amount of dungeons or a certain amount of raids in the fastest time. Whatever team can do it faster than the rest of the groups is the victor. We also have what I consider to be like their biggest competition would be Race to World First, which is when usually, well, I'm sure we'll be seeing some for the expansion of Midnight when we have new raids released, content that people's never seen, bosses that people have never seen. They'll do Mythic Plus. I'm not sure which. I think it's just base Mythic Plus, but it could be higher. I'm not 100% sure. But like the first group to actually take down a boss, like period, since it's been released into the game. But now, big thing, we'll be getting our third competition. They will be having a housing comp where people can enter, design their homes, and be judged, and hopefully win.
Ooh. Better homes and garbage for the WoW community.
Yeah.
I literally already made a Better Homes and Gardens joke about
Oh.
this. Like, it was quite entertaining, but yeah. So
I'm excited about all the raids. We already have access to like, well, I think it's technically like a transition, maybe part of the War Within, but the Mana Forge Omega, where we fight the big Void Imensius. I don't want to spoil story for anybody that cares, but
Dimensius.
big old Void Walker, son of a bitch, and really interesting design. I was sharing with Bo that typically something happens in the raid that I wouldn't typically like, but they really delivered it well. With the second phase, you and your group are dropped into basically the void of space, and all get on your flying mounts to make your way over to the boss, and he is hucking literal meteors and shooting planet-sized fucking laser beams at your face while it's happening, and you have to fly through and maneuver and try not to get killed. And if you go too slow, they'll actually kill you. It's not It's not just pure aesthetic, it's nice, pretty sick boss. I'm also excited. Other players who have been playing for forever might have seen, but for me, the expansion will bring its first single boss raid that will ever get to participate in. And the boss is just this crazy, like, chimera looking type of thing, but not your standard fantasy chimera, your WoW chimera. So you've got all sorts of weird creatures fused together, and it looks beautiful.
It's not a Full Metal Alchemist version either.
No. Thankfully.
Nissan. Father.
That moment made me rage, but I'm sure it made
Everybody raged at that
every
time.
fan rage, yeah.
It's like when Dio throws JoJo's dog into the fire. Throws him into the furnace.
And then somehow I actually managed to blab about WoW longer than I thought. So I'll finish this up by saying one more thing, because on the last show I was talking about my picks for Midnight, and I do have one swap, and I've narrowed it down a little. I don't think I'm gonna play 4 characters throughout all of Midnight, probably 2 or 3. Most of my picks remain the same, but my switch has been, I won't be playing Mage at Midnight, I don't think. They simplified it too much, in my opinion. The rotation just doesn't feel fun. I feel like a lot of times, let's say, rather than playing Frost or Arcane, it's like I do my burst window, and then I'm standing there pressing one button for like a whole minute until until I proc something, or until my burst, my like big global cooldowns come down. And I have taken up Evoker, which is a spec that I've messed with for a while. Another caster, kind of dragon themed with fire breath attacks and lasers, even kind of. Disintegrate kind of looks like a laser. And this is a spec I've like kind of fucked around with since it came out. Never really loved it. Never fucking thought it was shit either. It's kind of cool. The simplification kind of it, because they have done it for every class moving into Midnight, has gotten simplified, for the lack of a better term, getting rid of a bunch of bloat abilities and stuff. And so I did try Evoker right at the beginning of pre-patch, and it felt a lot more fun to play. It wasn't hitting hard whatsoever, though. You know, I like the balance. I don't have to play the most meta spec, but I don't want to feel like a wet rag while I'm playing the game either. And they were kind of like that, and then we got the final tuning on the 17th for the DPS specs. And to all you Evoker mains out there, I'm sorry with what you had to deal with, because Blizzard bug that was causing Disintegrate to do way less damage than normal, which is their main ability. So Disintegrate damage buffed by 76%. Now it feels
76%.
Yeah. Now it's
That's
dealing the
disgusting.
damage it's supposed to. And in terms of playstyle, I feel like it's it's probably, for me, it's the most fun caster out there. A lot of the other casters, either Devour Demon Hunter is a cool design. I like that they introduced it. But when I'm playing, same thing with Mage, I don't want to stand there and press one button for like 80% of my rotation until other shit comes up. And that's kind of how Demon Hunter feels. Consume. Finally, I get the transform. 50 more consumes, and then you collapsing star and go back to consuming for an hour. So I don't like that. Evoker is the one spellcaster right now that I feel like they simplified enough, in the sense that you don't have to necessarily worry about like a bunch of different procs that they used to have to maximize your damage. but still keeping a lot of the core ability and being able to hover around while you're casting spells. Everything aesthetically and like mechanical wise about their movement and the way they play feels better to me than any other caster right now. But that'll mostly, so if you're looking for a fun DPS, the class to play if you're new to the game, I suggest that. But that's mainly all I have for WoW.
Ooh.
Well,
Well, I've learned a lot, and I might even pick up playing again sometime.
Play
yeah,
for a month, build a house.
Yeah, or the
no,
first person, the first $8 a month subscribe, I'll give you my whole Blizzard account because I don't want to play any Blizzard games anymore. But if you're still a Blizzard fan, you can have it.
I had commented a couple weeks ago that all of this is the first time in almost 20 years that I've actually been like, maybe WoW. I don't think I'm going to, but maybe. So
Maybe.
I did. I am. I am considering a resolution to re-download Guild Wars. So that that is in progress. But all right. Well, good. Well, we have our next segment crosses into the dating world. And so I don't know. I think this is you, Will.
Yes.
Yes. So there is a new dating trend happening in the wild world of dating, and it's called
Yep.
ghostlighting.
So yeah, this is the USA Today story article about the
Yes.
new toxic dating trend that I guess trend.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. I feel like trend is a bad way to say it, but they are framing it in a negative light. So ghostlighting, it's even worse than ghosting for those who are not familiar. In the younger sphere of dating, and well, I guess everywhere, it's ghosting is when you are trying to talk to somebody and then they just disappear on you. Sometimes they'll get back to you later, but sometimes they don't. Especially in the dating scene for the young folk. Ghosting is like you're trying to meet somebody on Tinder or Bumble or what have you, and just like constantly getting ghosted. You could match with like 20 people and only maybe get a reply out of one, and just nobody ever talks to you. That's a common thing that people are having. So just when you thought ghosting or disappearing on somebody was without warning was enough of a problem, a new trend called ghostlighting. It's a toxic combo of ghosting and gaslighting. Ghostlighters drop all communication, only to reinitiate contact later as if nothing ever happened. To make matters worse, they'll often try to gaslight the person they were dating into believing there was no ghosting in the first place. Um, Instead of owning it, they brush it off like it's no big deal. Sorry, quote. Instead of owning it, they brush it off like it's no big deal and then make an excuse like, it seemed like you were super busy, so I didn't want to bother you. End quote. Says Amy Chan, a dating expert and the author of Unsingle, How to Date Smarter and Create Love That Lasts, which is coming April 2026. So keep an eyeball out for that. What makes it different, quote, what makes it different from simple ghosting is the psychological twist. Ghosting as avoidance, ghostlighting adds distortion by manipulating the facts so you doubt your own reality. How romantic. Um, Before I move on to this next part here, what do you got? Have you guys ever been ghostlighted?
Uh, yeah, a few times I would say. In fact, I've been off and on talking to someone today who kind of was a little bit of a gaslighting situation. Um,
Mm-mm.
yeah, he just kind of popped back up out of the blue, hadn't heard from him in a long time, and then
Mm.
yeah, and there's definitely. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I've definitely
Or
dropped off and then gotten back in touch with someone a couple times, but I don't just act like nothing happened. I'm kind of like,
mm,
hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Can we talk? Sort of thing. So I address the fact that communication may have broken down. I think it is weird people that do this sort of thing, but I was kind of reading the article while you were doing your intro, and it was very
ah,
interesting how they attribute it to the rise of dating apps and how so many relationships exist in a weird, undefined gray zone now. I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Connor, what about you?
I'm sorry, I'll let you know. So, sorry, I know I've been very distracted during this podcast. I apologize to you
It's
guys
okay.
and to everybody.
It's okay.
Have I ever been ghostlighted? Mm, I can't think of I don't feel like this has been done to me. I can't think of a situation where I really felt that particular combination of things. I've been ghosted for sure.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure I've been gaslit, but I don't think I've been ghostlighted.
Well, see, this is a problem that I've had a lot, actually. So this
Really?
one kind of rings true for me.
hmm.
Yeah, the amount of times I like will talk to people like in this context, talking about either meeting somebody in person or meeting somebody through online communication, or say like making plans to hang out, and then they just don't answer their phone all day, and then when you like text them like the next day or something, then they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was tired and I like slept most of the day." And I'm like, "You couldn't fucking let me know?" Like like that's the type of shit that I've had that happen so many times. It's very annoying. But this article gets to a point here where they say there might be a possible productive solution to this. So Um, as Cameron brought, connections exist in gray zones right now. You're texting, you're seeing each other, but nothing has been explicitly defined. The ambiguity gives people an easy exit, and when someone can exit without consequence, they often do. Blaine Anderson, a dating coach for men, says the rise of ghostlighting means it's all the more important to evaluate potential partners by their actions more than their words. Couldn't agree more. um, do they show up? Do they communicate consistently? And if they don't do either of these things, how do they react when you bring that up to them? Actions speak louder than words. Things happen, quote, things happen. Maybe something came up in their personal life. Maybe they weren't ready to date. But if they don't mention or apologize for the fact that they previously disappeared, I would call them out on it, because do you really want to be someone who could be with somebody who could do that again for no reason? If you have fallen victim to ghostlighting, it may not be a bad idea, as the article says, to call Casper out. For those who don't know, Casper the Friendly Ghost, old. Um, quote, if you're on the receiving end of ghost lighting, do not smooth it over, Chan says. If someone resurfaces after disappearing, name it calmly, with suggested, when you stopped responding, I took that as lack of interest and lack of communication, and then pause and see how they handle it. Do they acknowledge it and take responsibility, or do they deflect and minimize, unquote? If they react well, possibly with a genuine apology and valid explanation, you can consider if they're worth a second chance, Chan says. But no matter what, don't try. This is the part where I fuck up a lot. So this was very helpful to read. Um, no matter what, do not try to figure out why this person ghostlighted you, or worse, blame yourself for their actions. Chan says it can drive you crazy trying to analyze a person, figure out why they did it. What actually helps is not solving the mystery, it's allowing yourself to process the hurt, if there is any, acknowledge that it felt dismissive, that it disappointed you, that you wanted something more respectful. The open loop closes not when you figure them out, but when you accept what their behavior showed you and decide what you will and will not tolerate going forward. And unquote. And if you, from the article here, if you are a ghostlighter, take some accountability. Quote, be the change you want to see in the dating world, Anderson says. That often starts with being high integrity and being open and honest and direct about your feelings. Personally, I couldn't agree more. And ladies, I mean, this is something we've talked about before. Men are terrible at picking up little social cues. and things that women do. So please, for the love of God, can you just, I mean, you don't even have to go crazy, but like just come over and talk to us even. Like, just stand in our general vicinity and strike up a conversation, because most men are like terrified to talk to somebody in public because what if? I don't there's a lot of things that go on in people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an interest in somebody, don't be afraid to shout it out. That's a lot of guys are a bit dense when it comes to this stuff, and we live in a culture now where a lot of guys don't want to take the chance of something being misunderstood. So I would say, like, ladies, really, if you show an interest and the hints aren't working and he's not picking up on it, shout it out. You're probably Everyone's missing out on a lot of great relationships because nobody could talk or just be plain
Yeah.
and honest with themselves. So it's that's important. That is important as well. And I would agree, if you're in the habit of gaslighting people, I would try to not to avoid that. I mean, like she said, sometimes there's a reasonable thing of why it happens, but even then, a quick text back is better than nothing. Like,
Yeah.
do the best that you can, obviously, but try not to leave people hanging if you can.
Yeah, it's really fucking annoying. It's like, okay, even if you want to say like that you're tired and sleep all day or something, just can you it's like at some point you're like, "Oh, I didn't have my phone." Bullshit. Everybody has their fucking phone attached to their hip. Don't even fucking try to fucking play that. It's like you looked at your phone at one point throughout the day at least and couldn't have seen my message. Could have seen my message, "Hey, are you still coming over?" and could have just quickly replied, "No, I'm not feeling well." That would have been more than enough.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Okay, no problem. That's fine." But
Yeah.
this is, like I said, that's the part where I fuck up, and shout out, shout out to my dating life. I have a specific example. I kind of messed up a potential relationship with this girl who was really, really, really great, but again, I got ghostlighted, and I really kind of overreacted, but it's part of I worked through it as a whole trauma thing. Anyway, but I was like, like she texted me like way late, like, "Oh, I'm so," um, like almost at like 11 at night, and it's like she was supposed to come over at like 10 a.m. And like, so I just wrote like, "Do you want to hang out or not? Like, this is really annoying." And she, didn't talk to me again after that. And I always felt bad about that. But it's like it's so frustrating when it happens to you all the time. So reading this article, I found it very helpful, and I thought a lot of our listeners would too.
No, I agree. People not showing up for commitments or showing up for pre-made plans is one of the things that annoys me the most. Especially, for those of us that have complicated work schedules, which means I've taken time, I've moved other things around, maybe I worked extra during the week to have time to do it. And then
Hmm.
again, I don't mind if you cancel properly. I'll be disappointed, but I'll at least cancel properly. But like if I'm texting you and you're not texting back because plans are getting close and all this type of thing, then I'm not gonna get in the car. I'm not gonna prep. That's
Yeah.
why I always like an hour or two beforehand. I always text me kind of like, hey, we have plans at this time. Are you still down? All this type of thing, and I don't really get moving and get ready till I get decent confirmation that it's going to happen. And that just comes from showing up places and going places, and people don't show. My
Hmm.
worst one of those is I was living in Seattle. I met this guy in Oregon, I think on an app, and he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, come down, all this type of thing." Well, silly me, didn't I schlep down there? 300 miles, sort of thing. Quick drive though. I drove down there a couple hours, whatever have you, and I'm texting, calling, nothing, 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 nothing. So I go home. I lost the money on the hotel room, whatever. I go back home, and like, I want to say months past, like a couple months past, and he reaches out, and I'm kind of like, dude, I already drove across state lines to come meet you and hang out, and you completely ghosted. and now have shown back up. And then he got mad and sad that I wasn't going to do the trip again. I'm like, you kind of blew your chance, buddy. Like, sort of thing. I would have to say, having been with both men and women, in my experience, women are a little bit more reliable. Dudes flake more than women in my experience, which is weird. But because you have, your women are more flaky than Kellogg's.
Oh, dude, I have the worst luck about it.
Yeah,
I don't know what
for
it
me,
is.
women are like women show. Like if you book a coffee date with a woman, she 95% of the time is shown up for me. It's getting dudes to show up, that's hard for me. Like because they just flake all the time. But yeah, so that's some gay content for all those people that say the gay one ruins the show. That's me.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, Connor.
So, oh my god, no, this is very interesting. Well, very good find. Ghostlighting. Yeah, good find on that one. So
I'm glad there's like I always thought I was crazy because I've never seen anybody talking about it before. I'm like, well, it must just be me. Well, now somebody's written an article, so it's not just me.
Yes, it's
like finally we're talking about this because I can't talk about it because I'm a straight white male and nobody will take me seriously. In those spaces, nobody will take me seriously, and it's okay if you guys don't either. Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
Well,
so anyway,
we're at the top of the we're at the top of the hour, and it's time for dessert.
Let's see it.
And this one comes another Will addition to the show. So, Nintendo has apologized for, we'll call it, a certain ad they ran in 1997, and I'm delaying switching screens because I want to build tension for a moment. How bad do you think Nintendo screwed up, we'll say, in this ad? So here we go. I'm gonna change the screen in 3, 2, 1. Boom. This was a real ad ran by Nintendo in GamePro in 1997. This went out. Multiple people had to approve this. Yeah, and so let's just take that in for a moment. This GamePro ad came out in 1997. And it's a kid. It's a real kid. This kid's now our age. A real kid, and there's some harsh language. This complete fuckface has everything except Donkey Kong Land 3. Don't be a complete fuckface. They doubled down and ask your parents for Game Boy. Donkey Kong Land 3.
I can hear like the TV advertisement for this. This complete fuckface has everything except Donkey Kong Land 3. Don't be a complete fuckface and ask your parents for.
Donkey Kong Land 3. Yeah. So it says here, Redmond, Washington, Nintendo issued what many feel is a long overdue apology today for a print ad in the 1997 issue of GamePro that called readers, quote, complete fuckfaces, unquote, if they didn't purchase and play Donkey Kong Land 3 for the Game Boy, sources confirm. That was way over the line, huh? Asked Nintendo of America President Devin Pritchard. Quote, look, things were very different in the video game space during the 90s. We didn't have access to the player like we do today, so we really had to let them have it in these ads. These days, there are lots of ways to signal to a player that we don't think much of them, but back then you had to tell them directly to their stupid goddamn faces, unquote.
So I believe, yes, this is a funny ad. This is not the first time I've seen this, but it has resurfaced again on paletteswap.com. So if anybody wants to check it out, yeah, hilarious. Yes. I've seen other ones that are like, if you're not playing Super Mario 64, you must be a fucking idiot. Or
yes. And obviously, if this isn't obvious to you idiots out there, this is a thing called satire.
Yes.
It's humorous. It's funny.
to burst
And I
anyone's
played
bubble,
into it. We
unfortunately.
played into it. Remember when I said they built tension? This was me
Yeah.
playing into the. This was a giant skit, everybody.
For
So
the
don't be
slow people
dumb.
that
Yeah,
are
so
mad
don't
in
be
the
dumb.
comments.
It's satire.
For the sl-
Satire.
for the slow slow people comments we get on some of our Instagram shorts, you know.
Yes.
And
Yes. No, I can't
I
imagine how the AI is going to clip this. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time on TikTok to be like, it's satire. It's funny. It's satire. Oh my goodness.
I have one other
So,
popular example, quick.
yeah.
But this is another famous example. If anybody's read Masters of Doom or was alive in the era that Doom and John Carmack and John Romero were super popular, they broke off and went their separate ways. John Romero made the infamous Daikatana, which ended up being one of the biggest flops and hunks of crap video games. And it was designed by John Romero when he went to his own studio. One of the ads that they ran for it was very provocative, and it actually wasn't John Romero's idea to do this. It was his co-producer. And when John Romero said, "I don't know if I want to do it," and his partner said, "Don't be a pussy," and it was literally from the book, "Don't be a pussy," and he wrote in the ad for the video game, it says, "John Romero's about to make you his bitch. ... Suck it down." That was very edgy back in like I don't know, 90, 98, 99 when that game finally came out. Oh, that was 97 when the ad
Yeah.
first aired. That was very controversial at the time.
Yeah. That's, yeah. No, it's a crazy. Yeah, when I used to teach, I used to teach a class called the history of advertising, and how I taught small and medium sized business owners to do their ads. There were a lot of really funny ads from years past that said very funny things that I sometimes question some of the logic that went into some of that stuff.
Funny
Fish.
how? Joe Pesci. Sorry. Funny how?
Yeah. The old Dippity Doo ad is a fun one. There's all sorts of good ones out there. Yeah, it's the those are United Airlines ad with a businessman with mismatched shoes that I thought was always quite entertaining, and so it's yeah. So
Love
and
it.
of course then there's the legendary Fanta Fantanas. That was a
Oh my god, I love
very
the
controversial.
Fantanas.
I thought they were great. It was it did not necessarily do well, but as I pointed out, they spent $100 million on the Fanta Fantanas. Coke did. And I'm like, but here's the thing: it may have been bad and people didn't respond to it, but it's kind of iconic. It's remembered as a branding move. You can't buy that type of like, wow, everyone's still talking about Fanta sort of thing. I mean, to some degree, 100 mil well spent,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
There were
So,
several iterations they did. There were like 3 different ones too, and one of them, the only one
yes.
I remember is there was a guy in bed like with completely like his whole
Intraction.
body in traction and broken
Yes.
bones and whatever,
Yep.
and the girls come in and they're singing the Fanta song. She says, "You look hot in all that plaster. Drink that Fanta faster,
Faster,
faster.
faster.
Wanna Fanta? Don't you wanna Fanta?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
One
Actually,
of the one of the things I remember reading about that ad campaign, and one of the reasons it kind of flopped in the US, is it actually wasn't really intended for our market. It was more intended for Latin America, where Fanta was already popular, and it did very well
oh,
in Latin America. It played very well in Latin America. So,
sure.
which also shows how advertising, like the culture and nature of the place, affects how an ad will connect with people, which is always really interesting. In terms of what didn't work in the U.S. market, worked fantastic in Latin America, Mexico, South America. Yeah, it was a great thing, and it was, and as also you can see, it's like, oh, you want the diverse young crowd, and it's, it's a very interesting sort of thing. And there's also, I have a whole playlist with it in my advertising class. With different ones to point out, oh, this one's for this purpose, or this one's obviously for this market, or whatever have you. So they did reboot the Fantanas in like 2018 to promote
they did?
Fanta. Yeah, they
Hell
did.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I have to go look that up. I didn't see that.
yeah, there was a recent reboot, so it was fun. So yeah, turn a flop into an icon. So anyway, we are over time. So let's wrap everything up here. So thank you everyone so much for coming by and watching. We really appreciate it. My name is Cameron. This is The Living Joke. You can find us online, TLJ_joke everywhere, and you can find all our links, thelivingjoke.substack.com, including all the extra gaming content on our Rumble channel, like I said, and on Connor's YouTube. So, without further ado, my name is Cameron. That's Will. That's Connor. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. And Brian will be
Bye,
here
guys.
with Woke Word Wars. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.